Hello guys, welcome back. In this video I'll show you how to model the torchlight in Maya, and also I've done the texturing completely in Maya itself. I've not used any of the texture painting softwares for it. It was completely procedural texturing, and you're seeing the model here. This is how the flow is, and this is the result what I've got in the render. So let's have a look on this in the video. To start with, I would like to block out the model first. So I just wanted the basic proportions to be correct. So I'll be taking a cylinder here and I'll just rotate it 90 degrees. I press J while rotating, it will snap the angle there, and I'm going to scale it for getting the right proportions. So I'll be duplicating this by pressing Ctrl D, and then I would like to slightly scale it up just for this part, and I'll be duplicating this here also, like that, and then I'll be making a sphere, okay, and I'll be rotating this also 90 degrees, and then I'm going to scale it. I'll go to side view and then delete the faces, and then I'm going to scale this up and then just move it there like that, and I'll be taking the copy of this like that. So this is the rough proportions what I'm really expecting here. So most of the part looks pretty okay for me, but the thing is the detailing. So we'll be doing all that detailing as per the requirement of the model. So to start with, maybe I can just come here and start building it, or I can go further. So the biggest challenge here is like the threads. Okay, I'll go to the polygon primitives helix there, and then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees like that, and I'll be taking help of the channel box, and then I'm going to increase the width, okay, and the axis subdivisions I'll just keep it simple, and I'm going to reduce the width. So maybe we will select everything here and put it into a layer, and then just make it a template, and then increase the width, and we have the radius option. I'll put a radius of 0.06 and then reduce the height there. Okay, I'll just move this one here, and then we have the width. I'm going to adjust it to the size like that, and I'm going to increase the coils. Okay, now 18 coils is actually giving me the perfect alignment there. Once that is achieved, okay, I need to delete the cap. So now the first thing is like the coils. We have let's say 4 coils, or maybe 5 coils, whatever. So once that is done, we can start working on these values like that. I'm going to select the face and then grow the selection till there and delete them, and this line I'm going to select it through the ring and delete that face, and I'm going to select this ring here and delete that face, and this should give me the spiral cap effect. So I'm going to select all that vertex points, and then I'm going to merge it like that. Now when I apply smooth, and this is what I should get here. That's pretty good. So I'm going to select these lines there. These lines will gradually become thin. Okay, that should become a blend. Okay, so maybe I can select this one here, merge to center, and then snap it there like that. Okay, and I'm going to select these two, extrude, merge to center, and then snap it there. Okay, and then I'm going to merge those vertex points, and that's good to go. Okay, and I'm going to select those lines and then extrude it and then scale it like that. And what I'm going to do is here, this is the crest part, and this is a trough. So I need to scale this so that you get that highest point, and then we will be moving that till that level. Okay, now I'll be doing this on this side also. Just scale it, and then I'm going to scale this one. So scale that to that level and then slightly extrude it. Now I'm going to select this line here, and I'm going to bevel it, and then I'm going to increase this segments, the fraction, and then I'm going to select the ring, and then I'm going to scale that ring here like that. Okay, or maybe I can convert those to faces. Then I'm going to use the transform component tool, and then I'm going to merge those vertex points where this bevel has created a face, and then I'm going to apply a mesh smooth, and then I get this one. Okay, so that's pretty good, and I just wanted to keep that model, which I'm going to use it again and again. So I've got that nice spiral cap effect. Now I'm going to move that line. Okay, and I'm going to extrude and then merge to the center. Just like I extrude that one and then merge it. Okay, and I'm going to select those line and then bevel it, and then add segments there, and I'm going to add a support line here and here, and let's keep it that way. And you got that nice cap on the bottom side. I'll be selecting those faces, and I'm going to move it like that, and then keep it this way. Okay, now just give some sort of rib effect. So I'm going to use the extrude and then slightly scale it, and I'm going to add a line and then just move it out. So when I see, it gives that nice thickness to the model. So that looks good at this point of time. I'm going to add a cylinder. So this body has some vertical strip details, so I just wanted that details to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cylinder, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, and I have got some details as I told you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add subdivisions of 40, and caps I'm going to do a switch off to 0. So like I just I have after every 2 lines I've got 1 line going inside. So I can I'll be selecting the cap. I'm going to delete that. I'll go to the top view, and I'm going to select those 2 faces. Okay, and here what I'm going to do is I will be invert selecting that. Okay, so there are total 20 sets like that. So I'll go to the edit, duplicate special, and then rotation Z. I'll take help of the calculator. So there are 20 sets. 360 divided by 20 is 18 degrees. So I'll put 18 degrees here, and I'll choose instance, and then I'll be taking a copy of 19, and then when I apply duplicate, I get those radial effect. Now this is my original model, so I'll be moving that one till there, and this one till here. In fact, I will just move it up to this level. Now I'll be adding a loop. Okay, at this point and at this point, I'll select this line, apply bevel. I'll put fractions of 0.2 and then segments to 2. Okay, so that gives up me this line, which I'm going to move it inside. Okay, now I need to just make some nice flow here. I'm going to bevel this. Okay, and I'm going to reduce the fractions, and then when I press 3, I get this nice cavity there. Okay, so you can actually enhance the flow like that, and I'm going to use the multi-cut, and then cut it there. So I'm going to select those 2 points and then just scale it for the flow to be neat. So I'm going to select the other side also and refining those lines. So let me apply the smooth, and this is what we have here. I'm going to add a couple of lines on both sides, and this is good to go at this point of time. So I'm going to select the rest of the objects, and then I'll be using the duplicate special. This time I'll be going for copy. Don't merge instances, it's a very bad idea. So I'll using the mesh combine, and then I'm going to merge those vertices, and then I'm going to reduce this. So I'm reducing the threshold value. If it was not there, you get this kind of weird merge. So I'll reduce that, and if I now apply this model with a mesh smooth, you get this nice detailing. Now I'm going to select this line. I'm going to extrude it, okay, and then extrude it deep there, and I'm going to scale it to fit with the cap. So I'll use X and Y 1.06. I just go close and see how close it is. That's good. Now here I'm going to bevel this line and then select that ring, and then select those faces, press Ctrl E to extrude it, and then I'm going to scale it just to get that nice round, and I'm going to add a line close to this one, okay, just that gives that roundness here. And now I'll be doing that detail on this side also. I'll extrude it till there, and then bevel it 0.15 and press Ctrl E and then extrude, then scale it. I'll be using the insert edge loop tool, very similarly what we have on the lower side of that. Okay, and that's much better at this point of time. So I need to put up this detail what we have got here on this side also. So I'll move it up here, rotate Y 180 degrees so that comes on this side here, and I'm going to move this vertex points up to this, and I'm going to delete that. Okay, so you should be able to get that nice cap on this side as well. That looks good. Let me select the line. You have 18 points here, and the reason I'm looking for this is I want a very similar number of points on this side too. So we will be taking a sphere whose segments are 18, okay, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, and I'm going to scale it like that. Okay, now I'm just moving it closer like that, and I'm going to delete those faces. So as I told, I've got 18 lines there. So what is that I need to do is I need to combine both of these two pieces. Okay, so I will be using the mesh combine tool, and I'm going to select both of them and then apply bridge so that I get this nice merge. I'm going to use the slide tool, and then here I'm going to add a loop there. Okay, so I'll be pressing 3 so that I get this nice connection there. We have the screw thread pattern, so I need to scale this, and I'm going to place it here, and I'll be roughly moving this point there. So I'll select this, and then using point snap I'll snap it to that level, and then I'm going to scale this one, and I should be able to see both have almost same size. Now let me combine them and then merge those lines. So I'll be selecting only that lines and then use the merge vertex tool, and that should be fine. And I got this nice threads here. That's very good at this point. I'm going to select these faces and delete those faces, and then I've got some basic shape here. And the next thing is I would like to add the cap here, which is going to hold the glass with this torch, and for that I need to take a very unique cylinder, and that should be having sides of 8. I'll be taking 8 subdivisions. I'll rotate it 90 degrees, and I'm going to increase the radius there, and make sure that this is bigger, and then I'm going to scale this. Let's say if I subdivide it, this lines are 18, right? So here I need to have a very similar count. If not, I may end up getting wrong connection. So if I, let's say, apply mesh smooth of 1 and then subdivide it, this is 36. So this is one thing I have done wrong, which is taking odd 8 numbers. That's a big mistake I have done here. So 8 2s are 16, or 8 3s are 24. So I don't get 18 there. Mistake. So I have to manage that mismatch. Okay, now I'll be selecting those faces. Okay, and I'll be adding loops. I'll take insert edge loop tool, multiple edges too, and then start adding lines on all sides there. Okay, now I'm going to select those face like that, and I'm going to scale it, and this gives that nice shape here. Okay, now let me select this one and extrude it and extrude it. Okay, make sure that it's straight and straight for better visibility. Okay, I'm going to select this one and apply the circularize tool, and that should be fine. I'll be applying bevel and then use insert edge loop tool, and then you should get that soft beveled model. Okay, and I'm going to scale this and move it like that, and I'll be not touching anything here. Okay, that looks good. Now I'll be taking one cylinder. I can generally take a pipe, but I'll take a cylinder here. I'll be rotating it 90 degrees, and then I'll be taking the 18 subdivisions, never do it again, and I'll place it there. Okay, and I'll be selecting those faces, and I'll be selecting the vertex and apply chamfer vertex, and then scale that till that face, and then extrude that. Okay, now I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to select that face, and I'll be using extract tool that separates those objects, and whenever I do that I get a group, so I'm going to ungroup it, and then here let's add a loop like that, and that gives me this. So this is what we have got. Lastly, I have to model the switch, so the switch to switch on the torch light. Okay, so I'm going to take a cylinder and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, and I'm going to increase the radius there, 1.2 1.1 1.05 1.06. Okay, I'll be adding the height subdivisions, and remove the cap subdivisions there. I'll be deleting those faces. Okay, so I have these two set of faces which I'm going to use it for the switch. Let me see for the thickness part. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, let me delete this up to this one. Okay, now I'm going to select 3 faces here and 1 face there, and rest of them I'm going to delete from there. Okay, maybe I can delete 1/2 of that and model the symmetry. So I go to the duplicate special, scale -1, and then choose instance. Okay, and I'm going to select those faces and I'm going to extrude it. Okay, when I do that I need to delete those inner faces which I have formed, and I'm going to select those faces and I'm going to scale it like that. I'll be moving these lines inside, and here also I'll be moving that inside. Okay, so we need some sort of roundness achieved, bevel, and then segments. Okay, that should do. The next thing is I would like to move these points, and I'm going to scale it inside, and maybe I can just move it like that. Okay, and these 2 points I'm going to scale it, and I'm going to move it that way. I'm adding a slight thickness. I should work on one thing, that is this method of getting lines is not going correct. So I'll be deleting those lines here and connect those lines like that. Okay, so if you could see, I've got 1 2 3 4 5 subdivisions here. Let me add a line in the middle, okay, in the middle, and it's connected. And this one for timing, I'm going to delete that. And what I'm going to do is, let me first scale it to keep it straight, and then I'll be using this tool called arc tool. I can use 3-point circular arc or 2-point circular arc. Let me try 2-point and see if I get something out of it. So I'll be selecting this point and then this point, and then you should be able to see I've got that nice arc. Now I'll go to the display, nerves, and then enable edit points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll take 5 sections and then take it to linear. Okay, come to the front here, move this point, okay, in y-axis and then x-axis. Do the same thing. Okay, just y-axis and x-axis, and that gives me a shape here. I can also okay, let me first see whether I got the arc. Yeah, that looks good. I'll be taking very similar technique here, which is going to be a 3-point arc this time. So I'll put it one here, one there, one there. Okay, then axis to 5 linear, display, nerves, edit points, and then snap it there. Okay, I think I can delete those faces. Okay, set the pivot point here, delete history, modify freeze transformation, press Ctrl D, scale -1 here, and then combine, and then merge vertex points. Then set the pivot point here, press Ctrl D, scale -1 there, mesh, combine, select those vertex points, merge vertex. Okay, and I'll be deleting that curve, delete history, and I got this nice caps. I just wanted it to be closer here, and lastly I'm going to select this line here, and then I'm going to extrude it for the thickness. Okay, okay, that looks good at this point of time. So I'll be taking a cube and then snapping it over there. I'll be moving it up like that. Okay, I'll select this model and I'm going to apply mesh smooth with subdivision levels of 1, and I'm going to select those vertex points, and then I'm going to snap it till here, and this one I'm going to snap it till there, and this one I'm going to snap it till this, and this. That looks good at this point of time. This face is not really required. I'm going to select all those edges and then just bevel with some segments there. Let me select those faces. Okay, and okay, I need to delete these faces also. I'll be adding a loop, and then I'm going to scale this like that. I'll add a line to match this one to get the same sort of smoothness. And give that nice angled shape. Now I'll be selecting, I'll add a line here, and I'll select this one and then put a hole there. Okay, so I'll use the multi-cut tool, or maybe I can select this edge, delete those edge, apply poke face, and then select that vertex chamfer, and then select that and then circularize like that, and then extrude it down extrude it and merge it to the center, and then bring up the 8 subdivisions and then snap it here at this point, and I'm going to scale that like that up. Select those faces, delete those faces like that, and then when I apply smooth, you should get this kind of hole there. Now I'll be adding some lines. First I'll be selecting this, bevel it. Okay, one here and one there. Just I want that gradual roundness. So yeah. So I have completed the UV unwrapping of the model. I'll just select everything and you should be able to see the layout of this UVs. So I've placed everything in one UV layout, and let's start by doing some basic light setup with simple lighting materials and all, and then do some procedural texturing within Maya. So I'll just switch back to Maya Classic and then create a new camera. But before going into that, I'll just select the light and then just rotate it and then place it over the floor. When the precision is lost, you can generally increase the rotation tool, and then you can bring it back like that. Okay, so I've got this light placed on the floor. So I'm going to create a plane and then scale it up. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new camera. So camera, I'll be taking the focal length of maybe some 70 or so, and then just put it that way. And then I'll go to the render settings and have a look on the render size. It's 965/40. It's okay. It is having that 1.77 aspect ratio, and I'm just putting that like that. I'll select the camera and then go to the channel box and then log the attributes there, or the transformation channels. So once that is done, I would like to place a light on the top, and I just want to put only one light here. So I'm going to create a light that is the area light. I'll be just placing that over and then just scale it. Okay, right now just place it like that and then open the attribute editor. But before going into that, let's assign AI standard surface shader for everything. I'll just keep it slightly grayish. Okay, or maybe you can put a gray value of 0.5 and then try to get the gray result there. So I'll just quickly save the file. So I'm going to select the light here. I'll just choose Arnold render view just to do the procedural lighting, interactive lighting, and I'll just set up the exposure value. So I'm just expecting a bigger light highlight and then softer shadow. So I'll just switch this to the perspective view, just move it away and then scale it bigger. Okay, I want a bigger highlight to be forming on the model. So I'll just play with the exposure values there. So I'll put an exposure value of the background should look gray, or maybe I'll just select the torchlight and assign AI standard surface shader, and select the background and then take a darker color. I'm going to give a slight tint to it like that, and then hit render, and you got this nice result. So I'm going to select the roughness value and just put a value of 0.5. That's way too much. Yeah, it's okay. I'm getting that nice reflection. Let's try a 0.4. This looks pretty okay for me at this point of time. There's a lot of noise. We'll fix that in the final render. So let me select this AI standard surface shader and then name this as ground shader. Then I'm going to select this one and I'm naming this as chrome shader. So let's go to the metalness and put the value of 1, and it gives you the steel, and I'm going to increase the roughness to 0.3, and then it brings up that nice steel. Or maybe I can keep increasing this value to get that more aluminum or steel effect. So I'll stay with a value of 0.35. This looks pretty good at this point of time. Now what I'm going to do is I'll be bringing up one texture, which is a scratch texture. So this scratch texture was not seamless. Just I've searched for scratch texture and then I got this one. And I'm going to use this texture in the reflection, and I'm going to give that nice character to the metal. So let me open Hypershade. Okay, and then we have the chrome shader. Let's bring up that chrome shader, and then I'm going to take the 2D texture. Okay, as UVs are done, UV unwrapping is done, I'll be loading the texture here. So I'm going to select that scratch texture and load it here. This is in rectangular shape. It's okay. Now what I'm going to do is I just wanted to connect this with I'll also use this texture here. So press tab on the keyboard and then take the layered texture so that I can just mix these both of the textures, and I'm going to bring up a 3D texture. I'm going to use a solid fractal texture. I'll be taking that one, and I'm going to connect the textures here to the layer texture. So this file is the top layer and the solid fractal is the bottom layer, and every texture will have one color correction node. So I'll be taking the AI color correction node, connect the color to the input, and then we have these connections made. So I'll be connecting that. So that gives an extra level of control on this texture. Now I'm going to connect this color's red channel to the specular roughness. Okay, so let's put that. So higher value makes things more rough. So let me render this. So click on the render and then just click the isolate button and then select this texture here. You should be able to see this texture on the model. I'll select the file node and then I'll just maybe switch on the alpha on luminance and this one, and then I'm just looking for any change in the roughness. Let me see where this is on the shader. So roughness, this is color correct. I need to switch on the alpha as luminance here, then I may get some roughness there. I don't see much of the difference here, and let me first do one thing, that is select this repeats and then repeat this to 5 by 5 times. I want that a lot of lines coming on it, and I'm going to select this texture and then do inverse of it. It's not working. So let's try to understand what exactly is happening here. So I'm going to select the color correction node and go for the isolate select. So the black color area is the glossy and the white color area is the rough part, and I want this black color to be rough even, so I'm going to increase this add value and then increase the roughness there like that, and now you should be able to see that nice scratches coming up on the model. Or we have one more node called remap value. In that case you need to just work only with one of the channel here and then connect that with all the colors here, so red, green and blue. Okay, then break that connection, then you should be able to see this one has got the remap value. So one graph controls all the 3 channels at the same. Okay, it's showing up here. So select the remap value here and then start working on this. You should be able to see there is some control, right? So let's delete that point, and then the black should be at a value of 0.4, which not this one, sorry, this one, 0.4. So you should be able to see that roughness. So let me put it to 0.35. Okay, I'm just making that part more rough and this part more glossy. Then it may start showing up the result. Yeah, now it's showing up. So the scratches, and let me just go to the layered texture, enable the isolate button on, and then we have this solid fractal sitting. I'll be moving on the top here, so that makes this texture look more this way. So I'm going to multiply this. Okay, and I'm going to reduce the opacity of this texture, and that gives a slight variation in the specularity overall. So this looks good. Now what I'm going to do is I will take this scratch texture, okay, connect it to the bump map. So I go to the bump map again. So I'll be taking a layered texture. Okay, in layered texture I'm going to bring up a 3D texture. Here we have something called rock. Okay, I'll be taking that texture. So rock is basically a noisy texture, so I'm going to take that, connect that here, and then we have this scratches. So I'll be selecting this and then choose a blending mode called add, and I've got these 2 textures, but I'll be taking one layer below and then take a gray color and then reduce opacity of this gray color texture. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the chrome shader, drop that into the bump map. So let me see the render. So I've got the scratches, I've got the bump. Let me see the bump first. So this one is file. I'll make it as invisible and select this layer and increase the value, and so that grain size was too small. I'm just bringing up the value. I'm just making it smaller, and I'm going to select that layer and then start bringing down the value of that particular layer. Okay, so that adds that high frequency grain. Okay, Now I'm going to select this layer, make it visible, and here this layer will add a bump. So I need to fix something with this layer. So this layer is connected to the color here. So I'm going to take a color correction node, or we can take an invert texture. We don't have that, so I'm going to take the color correct node there. I'm going to connect this texture here and this one there, and once that is achieved, just switch on the invert, so that brings up the cavities of these scratches. Now let me select the layered texture and bump value of 0.1. That has brought down the bump, so I'm going to take it way down. It should be very low, just a slight hint of that is enough actually. Okay, I'm selecting everything and assigning that shader. Okay, now let's store this one and render it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some texture to the color. So you can take any of the textures. I'm taking a 3D texture and then take some dirt color. So when I render, I get this one. Okay, and I just want this texture to be rough like that. Okay, so nothing more than that. So I've got these two shaders. Okay, now I'm going to take the mix shader. Mix shader will mix these two shaders. So on top I'll put the dirt. Okay, and in the bottom I'm going to put the chrome. I'll put the blend value of 0. First let me select all of them and assign this mix shader, assign material to viewport selection. Now select that one and then render. So when the mix is 0, you are getting this. When the mix is 1, you get the chrome. So here I'm going to connect a alpha map. So let's have a look on one shader which is called curvature and ambient occlusion. Let's have a look on both of them. In texture you could see the curvature here. So I'll be testing that with a temporary AI standard surface shader, okay, which is the I'm going to connect that to the color. Okay, so let me just have a look on the options here. So we have this nice tips getting that edges getting that white color. So we have multiply option. When I increase that, that is going to bring up that highlight. So let me choose the concave, where it will give the cavity regions a white color. So this is something which we can use. Let me have a look on the mix shader. Mix shader, 1 value is giving me the chrome and 0 value giving me the dirt. I want to bring the dirt texture here. So we have mix shader and then we have the dirt shader. So drop that dirt shader here and then bring the curvature node. So drop that curvature in the mix weight. So we have the out color. I'm going to choose the red channel and connect it with the mix weight and select the curvature here and then choose concave and then render it. I need to assign the mix shader. So I need to select all that objects and assign material to viewport selection and then render it. I should be able to see that dirt all over the model. So I'm going to select the curvature. Okay, this texture should be reversed. Let me try the convex also. That brings up on the edges, concave in the cavities. Okay, I can increase the radius to 0.25. I get a wider texture, but whatever is happening only reverse. So it's not working. Let me try the invert in the AI color correction tool. I need to take this one actually. So let me render this and then just hit invert. Okay, now I'm getting this dirt very in low amount. So I'm going to select the curvature node, then increase the multiplication value to 10 and radius. Okay, I'll just switch on the specular pass. Then you should be able to see that gaps. You can start working on different attributes like spread, bias. Okay, so yeah, that's giving more character. So I've added a light here. I'll be increasing the exposure value. Okay, and I'll put the radius of 3. Okay, that just blurs out that, so I need to just control. So I'm using the color temperature and reduce the temperature to 3000, 3500, and exposure of 6. So that gives that nice warm light coming up there. And I'm going to bring up this glass geometry so that, okay, it looks well illuminated. I'll also just explore the light from the top. We have the light spread value. I'll reduce it to 0, and I will slightly increase the spread. Let me give that effect of spotlight. So I'm going to scale this, and spread value is 0.3. I'll scale this light. Exposure, let it be 8 there. 8 or 9, 10. Okay, this is giving me that radiation and some light. So what we will do is we will quickly render this in passes. Okay, to render the scene in the passes, I'll be selecting this area light. I'll go to the AOV group and then name this as top. Okay, just I'm writing top here. And then we have this sky dome, which is actually used for the reflections. I'm not going to touch. And we got the point light, and I'm going to name this as key. Just leave like that. And then go to the render settings, and then we have AOVs. Okay, so I'll be adding a custom AOV. I'll be naming this as specular underscore top, and then specular underscore key. I'll be doing that too. I select this and close it up, and then just quickly render it, and then see how this light will show up. This one is the key light specularity, and this is the top light specularity. So I've got both of them. Okay, the next thing is I would like to add a diffuse key, and I'm going to add diffuse top, and then I'll add the indirect pass. Okay, let me switch on emission if it's there, and also we have a transmission pass. Okay, so I'll be choosing the transmission underscore key, and then transmission underscore top. Okay, so I've got all these passes. Specularity is there, indirect light, diffuse light, transmission. So everything is in place. So I'll be rendering this, and then I'll be choosing diffuse key, the diffuse top. Emission, there's no emission required. This is indirect lighting, specular key, specular top, transmission key, and transmission top. So you have all of them in place. I'll go to the sizes here. So I'll choose 1920 by 1080 pixels, and I'll go to the samples and camera anti-aliasing to 5, transmission to 3, and specularity to 4. I'll be using all of them like that. And I'll do one more thing, that is I'll go to the AOVs and select the driver, and then enable merge AOV here. And I'll go to edit project settings, and I'll choose the location where I want this project to be saved. So I'm selecting this renders folder here, and then accept. So the image will go there, and I'm rendering an OpenEXR file, and it's a single frame. Render camera is perspective 1, full HD, and as I told, it's OpenEXR, and I have all these passes here. I don't want the emission pass here, not required. So I'll go to the traditional render view here, and then I'm just scaling it big, and then open render sequence, and then choose the perspective 1 camera, and then hit render sequence there. It takes some time, and then once it is done, I'll open this in the After Effects. So the render is completed here. I've rendered it at full HD size, and I will open this in the After Effects. It's again the same composition. So I'll be choosing the extractor node. I'll be dropping that here, and then start extracting all that passes. So I'll be choosing diffuse top, and I'll also choose a color profile converter, and then linearize the input profile. So that should be okay. I'll be duplicating this by pressing Ctrl D and then change the pass to top key and then change the blending mode of this layer, okay, to screen, and both the lights are actually added. Let me add a new adjustment layer and then go for any color correction tools. So maybe I'll be using the curves tool here and then just colorize or color correct these layers, okay. I need to reset this guy. I'll just put it down, okay, and I just want this ambience to be dark, so I'll be duplicating this layer and put this on top and change this to indirect lighting and then put the blending mode to add, okay. I don't know why this a lot of noise came in the render. Again, I'll be duplicating this layer and then put that on top and then change the blending mode to specular key, change this one to specular top. So I think the indirect pass, I'm not going to use that for now, so I'll be changing this one to specular key. So the blending mode for this is going to be the screen blending mode, okay. And then we have the reflections. Now on top of that, I'm going to change this to transmission key, and then we have okay, this is generally washing out the overall scene, so I'll be taking the CC curves on top of this layer and then just bring it down. Maybe that's the reason why it's too strong, so I just wanted to pull it down. So I'll just check with this layer here and then add a filter called glow, okay, and I'm going to add the threshold value, increase the radius, and then play with the intensity, okay. That just gives that nice bloom on top of that, okay. That bloom is there, but I just put the opacity of that to almost less, 0.03, okay. This should be fine. And I need to just fix something. I have not checked this area which was there, I mean the bulb, the point light radius, it was creating some shadow. I didn't check that, but you can fix it here just by adding a small patch. Maybe I'll take a new solid layer and then just pick that color and then fix that layer, okay. Okay, that's gone. And on the whole, I'm going to use a adjustment layer, okay. So this adjustment layer will have curves. I'm going to take the curves there, drop that here, choose the blue channel, and then just to make it more blue or warm, and I'm going to reduce the red there, okay. So I think it's too much blue, just light warm color should do, very subtle. And then I'm going to check this one, okay. So you can generally add more depth to the scene as per your requirement, or you can do color correction as per your choices and edit your image in post. And that is it for this video. If you have any questions, let me know.